Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been almost a month, actually no, a little over a month since I've posted my last video. So as you guys know, I took a little break from YouTube because I had so much going on, but now I'm back and today I want to share with you a foundation that is matte, but it's good for people like me who have dry skin. So if you want to know more about this foundation, then stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get ready to it. Alright, so I just went ahead and pinned my hair back so it doesn't get in the way. Today, I'm going to be trying out the Dior Skin Forever Undercover Foundation. And this came out earlier this year. I want to say around February or March or somewhere around there this year. But the reason why I never tried it was because my skin, you know, I have dry skin. Or at least I did have dry skin. Now it's more on the normal side with a few dry patches. Before it was like dry skin with a few normal patches, if you get what I mean. So right off the bat, let me just show you how it comes. So it comes like this. It's travel friendly because, again, it's not a glass bottle like their Dior Skin Forever foundation, which also I really love, and I'll talk about that as well. So this foundation comes in 1.3 fluid ounces. So again, if you know, the Dior Skin Forever comes in 1 fluid ounce, and almost any other foundation you will ever buy on the market is around 1 fluid ounce. So this one's 1.3, and that's a little bit more. And considering this is full coverage, it would last me a long time. So I'm just going to read from the back of the box what it is and what it does. It says that the Dior Skin Forever Undercover reinvents full coverage with an ultra fluid foundation that offers the perfect mix of extreme correction and a surprisingly weightless feel. I'm sold on that. So as you guys know, I do not like full coverage foundations only because they feel way too heavy for my skin. So if I can get full coverage and it feels very light, then I'm fine with it. It says its fresh water-based texture forms a film so incredibly comfortable and exceptionally fine you forget it's even there from morning until night. With a high concentration of correcting pigments, it delivers a flawless semi-matte finish and conceals imperfections for 24 hours. Alright, so the main reason why I got this foundation is because I was in the market for a water-based foundation. I picked up the YSL All-in-One Glow, which is more like BB, like a glowy BB cream. Actually, a glowy sunscreen, basically, with a little bit of pigment. But it made me break out really badly, so if you see anything on my face, it's because of that, and I'm still recovering from that. So I was like, you know, what's a good water-based foundation? I did some research, and turns out this foundation is actually water-based. And I didn't know that because, again, I don't review matte foundations on this channel because I have dry skin. I already know I don't like matte foundations, but because this is water-based, I was like, let me give it a try. So I'm just going to go in and show you guys exactly what it looks like on my skin. Right now my skin is hydrated. I just put on some of that Drunk Elephant Protein Moisturizer. And I'm just going to use a sponge. Okay, now this is not a first impressions by all means, because on this channel I don't think I can give you a fair shot of a foundation if I do a first impressions. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what I think about it and how it's worn for me for the past, you know, weeks and so on. So that way you guys get a full review of it, because I feel like foundations, I can't give you a first impressions. I don't know if I showed you guys how much I put, but I basically like only put a little bit. So this time I'm going to put just a tad bit more. Again, so if you're using a sponge like me, I like to use a sponge because it shears it out a little bit. But if you go in with, you know, a brush, it does make it look more matte. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to show you how it looks on my skin, like on my forehead, if I use, that's a little bit too much, with a brush, because it does look more matte if I use a brush, which makes sense, right? Because you get moisture from your sponge. So as you can see, I got a lot more coverage from the brush. It is definitely more matte than the rest of my skin right here, which you can see. I want that coverage to be buildable, and I feel like if I go in straight with a brush, even though it's faster, I would make myself look like cake face really fast, you know. So I like to take my time and press in the foundation. So if I was to take this up to my under eyes, it does cover relatively well if I were to like build it up. I usually just like to use my concealer to do that, so I'm not going to bother with that today. But yeah, Oh, by the way, I'm in the shade 25. So in the Dior Skin Forever, I'm actually in the shade 23. You might be wondering, Mads, 23 is peach, and this is soft beige. So you might be wondering, like, how does the undertone change? Well, I'm actually going to make a video about that on probably like another day, but basically just telling you like how to choose foundations, because at that time when I picked peach, it was winter and I was a lot lighter, and ever since I came back from vacation I have gotten a lot more tan, I guess. Like I've gotten like at least 2-3 shades, 4 shades tanner, but now it's like gone down because it has been like a month since I've been back. So yeah, with that being said, my undertone does change depending on if I have a tan or if I don't, but I'll get into that in a separate video. But right now I'm actually going to zoom you guys in and show you exactly what it looks like on my skin. Alright, so I've zoomed you guys in just a little bit closer just so you can see how my skin looks with this foundation on. So right off the bat you can see that it's not catching on to any of my dry patches around my mouth, which is where I have it, and I'll link that video where I talked about why I have dry patches around my mouth somewhere up here. And if you were to like look at my skin face to face, you would be like, wow, it looks like you have nothing on, or you know, it looks pretty much flawless at this point. And it's kind of hard for me to say a foundation makes my skin looks perfectly flawless and not look cakey, but this is the first time I'm seeing where it does not look cakey, but it is giving me like maximum coverage. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that, not emphasizing my pores, not catching on to my dry patches, and every single time I've worn it I've gotten compliments on my skin, even though it's not my skin, it's the foundation that's like covering up all the imperfections. You know how sometimes the foundation settles in your smile lines? That does not happen to me. Usually I don't have a smile line problem anyways. My foundation usually breaks up around my nose area, you know, because you're touching your nose, or like not touching it, but you know, like you're kind of rubbing your nose or whatever, allergies and all that. So that's like the first place for my foundation to go with, and I kid you not, it has stayed on for I think 16 hours. I'm gonna say, even though it says 24-hour wear, 24-hour full coverage, I would have to say I haven't tried it for a full 24 hours because I didn't go to sleep with it, but I bet if you powdered it, it would stay on for quite a long time. So without powder it stayed on for 16 hours, so that's saying a lot. Alright, so I'm going to go in with my concealer. The one I'm using is by Tarte Shape Tape. The Shape Tape. You guys know the drill. And lately what I've been doing is I've been putting one little thing, one swipe on one eye, and I only do one eye at a time, and you will see why. Because I've noticed that I don't need as much, because when I put too much I get reverse circles. If you don't know what reverse circles are, they're basically, you put a little bit too much, it actually emphasizes your dark circles instead of eliminating them. So I've tried a few different concealers with this foundation and they all seem to be fine with it. My favorite right now is the Tarte Shape Tape, just because of the coverage. But I'm going to be trying out a different concealer in the next video, so stay tuned for that. I'm taking, oh by the way, I'm taking this Hourglass, it's a long name, Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palette that just came out. And I'm just going to take some of that ambient lighting powder, this one right here. I'm going to set my under eye. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and bronze up my face. So I'm not gonna do like a full face, but I'm just going to put on like face makeup, like bronzer and blush, just to give you an idea of basically what it looks like, the final result like on the skin, you know? And from the bronzers I've tried, the blushes and everything, the face makeup, it actually goes on relatively well. There's no like catching on in areas where I have drier patches, and that's actually a really good sign for me, because usually it's always catching on, you know, like sometimes when I put on blush, on matte foundations and my skin is dry, I'll see it like right away, like it'll emphasize my texture. And this foundation does not do that. So basically, I'm just going to stop right here and tell you guys that you need this foundation. It's amazing. I think it works really well for a lot of different skin types, and I feel like it would work really well for oily skin types as well, just because you can powder it and it should be fine. I don't even powder it and it stays on for a very long time. Again, I'm more on the normal dry side. Now, would this foundation work for the dry skin that I used to have? I think it would. I think I would just have to like exfoliate and go in with a heavier moisturizer. Alright, and also the fragrance in there, as with any Dior foundation, it smells like a Dior perfume. This one isn't as strong as their Dior Skin Forever. The Forever one, as much as I love the Dior Skin Forever, it's going to be replaced by this. But that one has a much stronger fragrance in my opinion. And yeah, another thing is that this foundation actually oxidizes a little bit. I want to say get a shade lighter, go a shade up, because it will oxidize. Like right now it may not look like it, but in a few minutes, in a few hours, it's going to be a shade darker and it'll match the rest of my, you know, body. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a picture with flash photography just to see, you know, just for my phone, just to see if it's going to be fine if you're going to take some flash photography pictures. Okay, I was talking at that time, but I don't see any kind of flashback, and right now it is a little bit lighter than the rest of my skin right now. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's just because this foundation does oxidize. But anyways, long story short, this foundation is amazing. I think everyone should get it, and yeah, I think it's totally worth the price, especially because this one is the same price, I think. I believe it's the same price. Let me check. So this one actually comes in 25 shades. The Dior Skin Forever comes in 24 shades, so I guess they added a shade. But yeah, they're both $52. So yeah, they are up there in price, but considering that you get 1.3 fluid ounces in this one and also it's full coverage, this will probably last me twice as long than any other foundation, just because it's full coverage and it's travel friendly. Can we just appreciate that? I do not have to like beg TSA to not throw out my glass foundation. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. I'm back and I have so many more new videos coming up for you, so make sure you guys do have that notification bell turned on. I hope you guys have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and if you do try out this foundation, leave me a comment down below. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!